And the one, and the two, and the three, Jeff.
That's...
Why don't you call us in, Jeff?
Oh. That what we were supposed to do? Okay. Welcome to the Squares of the Roundtable Podcast. I'm Jeff Stein, along with...
Mike Boyle.
And I'm Rivera.
Righto. We're ready.
You guys jumped all over that. I guess I should hand it off
better. That's right. Bada-boom. Let's go. Come on. Got a lot to discuss today.
Okay, so we have...
All right.
The Master of Voices.
Me. Hi.
And you are?
Mike Boyle.
Ah. And there's the Master of Vinyl. The Master of Vinyl, the man with lots of kitty.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's me.
And you are?
I'm Jivin Rivera.
Who are you?
What am I?
This isn't our auspicious start. This is when we should start over, but we're going to keep going.
That's right. Onward.
We're gonna fight through it, okay, folks?
You know what? We're going to fight through it just like something I just read about how a car exploded after a man used his body spray and then used the explosion to light a cigarette.
What?
He blew up a car?
Holy shit.
According to this happened in Woodlawn, Maryland, so this goes without our usual theory of usual locations. Police in Maryland say a car blew up when the man inside lit a cigarette after spritzing himself with aerosol body spray. Cigarette and spray combination caused a sudden, violent expansion of air molecules in the car on Thursday, creating a boom that pushed up the roof, shattered the window, and blew out the doors.
Oh my gosh!
So
wow, that's a way to make an impression.
Yeah, it was an explosive moment, that's for sure.
He blew it out, did he?
My understanding is there's one here. I can't find it. According to this, when it was done, he went and lit a cigarette from the fire.
In the wreckage of his burning car, he used the fire to light a cigarette.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Anybody for a cannibalistic barbecue?
Guys will do anything to attract the ladies.
Okay.
Like I said,
too sexy for my car. Too sexy for my car.
And for the record, we interrupt this program to spend a moment of silence.
Okay.
Mike was made me aware. The other half of the bourbon warehouse. Gone.
Yeah.
So
we don't know if they didn't salvage any of those barrels?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
I saw the pictures online, and there's just barrels everywhere. I mean, amongst the complete ones, the shattered ones that surrounded the perimeter of the building, it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, man, talk about a last call for alcohol.
The City Advantage Platinum Select card is...
Hey, that was an ad.
Yeah, no.
Okay, what was that?
Can we talk about that for a second? What is the rationale? You're trying to pull something up for people to look at so you could read this story, and no, it's the ad. Now, I didn't ask for anybody to put the volume on the ad. No, all of a sudden there's volume. I didn't ask for volume.
I like what they're doing now, putting the ads in the middle of what it is you're watching now.
Do you watch them?
No.
No, do you skip to the next thing instead and go, forget this, I'm not watching now?
Yeah, exactly. I did that with the ones they did it before they started whatever it is I was watching. You know, the little button that says skip this. Yeah, what's the
No,
point?
I'm talking about the one on Facebook where it's like, you're in the middle of watching something and it goes more than a couple minutes and then it's like, in 10 seconds we're going to go to a commercial. And you're like, in 10 seconds, I'm out of here.
That's what I'm saying. It's the ad in the middle of everything you're trying to watch. It's so stupid.
Well, it's money. I mean, they're just trying to figure out ways.
I know they're trying to boost the money thing, but they made something of an annoyance even more annoying.
It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, it is. The media. Oh my goodness. What else are we going to do?
Yeah. So what else did we do for the 4th of July? I was just I grilled out a little bit, but having the holiday right in the middle of the week.
What you make?
Ivan.
What?
I'm gonna talk, and then I'm gonna let you finish. But first, I'm gonna talk about the best week ever.
Okay.
Wednesday was the 4th of July, and I just grilled out a little bit. And last Saturday, the 7th, was when the fireworks in my hometown, we had them. I could see a few of them by right on my front porch, but I didn't want to go over to where they were having them because the mosquitoes were so bad. Man. Carry you away, man. All of that wet weather we've had.
Well, yeah, we had a whole bunch of really humid, hot, nasty days. It makes Mother Nature berserk and unleashes everything that she can. Termites, flies, whatever have you, to annoy you on such a hot day. I didn't go out anywhere.
Yeah, So let me ask you a question, Mike.
Yeah.
With fireworks, to me, I do like fireworks. Here's the thing, though. It's, all right, we're going to shoot off a whole bunch of them, and then you start that pattern for 20 minutes of, we shoot one up here, we shoot one up here, we shoot one up here, we shoot one up here. It's and then you're sitting there for 20 minutes going, it was much cooler the first 3 minutes when they shot up everything all over the sky, and you're like, holy cow. And then they get to the end and they do the finale, and it's like that again. Maybe it's just me. I'd like to see the whole thing. I'd rather almost have 5-6 minutes where it's kind of like
a complete show.
Yeah, where it's just shoot your wad and be done with it. Don't tease me like that. Just do it, baby.
Just fire it all at once.
Yeah.
I want to see the whole thing. I just want to fire it.
One town where that happened, where they accidentally sent everything off at once, and the whole show was over in 20 seconds. Remember this story from a couple years ago?
Oh my gosh!
That's when you need the little blue pill.
Yeah.
That's a little too much. Yeah,
Okay.
You figure, if you did a good 10-minute show, I don't know. Maybe if when they do those ones, you've seen the ones where they do the ones with the music, where they'll coordinate out with the music. Those are kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. So so you went to go see the fireworks? What'd you make? I know Ivan was curious.
What did I make?
Yeah, you said you barbecued.
Oh, just grills and brats and Italian sausage.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, burgers, yeah.
Okay, did you make them yourself, or were they from the freezer?
They're frozen.
Okay.
And them Johnsonville ones are the best ones. I had one a couple weeks ago. It was from the local deli. They were handmade brats. They just weren't that good. They didn't have enough fat in them, so that they were dry when you're done. It's like eating jerky. You got to have some fat in there to get juices going.
Well, yeah, you should have it. A good brat. Once you drop it down on the grill, and then it just starts to simmer, and then it opens itself up, and the flavors just hit the air, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I call a good deal. But but I gotta have the flavors. I gotta have the savor, the fumes. The things that make the brats taste so good. But do you ever make your own hamburgers?
Oh, yeah, we bought the ground beef when we used to just smash them and smush them. But then the tops get too high, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't sit on the bun as well.
Oh, okay. What'd you put in them?
No, I didn't make my own bun. I got frozen patties. I like the Bubba Burger ones. Those are good.
Okay.
Usually about 7 or 8 minutes on each side. You're done. And they're still, you sear them, and that keeps the grease and the juices inside of them long enough for them to get them done. You can get them just right. There's a little bit of pink on the inside. Yeah, good burger.
Yeah, I had a real good experience with a burger earlier this week. Made a couple of real nice ones handmade. I found that not only just like a little dash of salt and pepper, and then there's a sazon. It comes, Goya makes it. It's a Spanish product, and it's called a sazon, and I throw that in there. Talk about waking up the flavors. Oh my goodness, such a good burger. Went down nice, just enough pink in the middle. Dream come true. Topped up a steam bun. Worked out really nice.
There we go. We've done the Food Network portion.
That's right. We got our food porn out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see?
I was just so proud of it. It turned out so well.
I saw something the other day. There's a recipe out there to make your own homemade Choco Taco.
Choco Taco?
You don't remember the Choco Taco when the guy comes around? The chocolate ice cream taco?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that, Jeff.
Oh, come on. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know the Choco Taco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. It's the outside's. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. The outside's kind of a beige color, and then the inside's just like chocolatey.
No. The outside looks like a chocolate. It's like a waffle chocolate kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
You've never seen a Choco Taco? Come on, man.
No, seriously, I've never seen a Choco Taco. Okay, I'm sorry.
You have to have seen this. Hold on a second.
Put a picture of Choco Taco in the group
Hold
chat.
on, I'll get him one.
We can drop a Choco Taco picture so I can.
I know what this is. This is like crazy.
I was a snow cone creamsicle kind of guy at the ice cream truck.
I like the creamsicles, the orange and the white and the vanilla on the inside.
Yeah,
I like the fudgesicles too.
Okay, Ivan. All right. Hold on. There's even a Wikipedia page for the Choco Taco.
Choco Taco. Oh my god!
Just so you know,
just got everything.
Here, I just sent it to you.
Okay. I'm getting it. Hold on, I'm retrieving it.
Choco Taco, invented in 19.
Oh, okay. I've seen this thing. All right.
I
I hope you had.
How have you never seen a Choco Taco?
I guess I've never paid attention to it. Honest to God.
There are people who swear by this thing. Now, I'm more of a Chipwich guy. That's just me. Chipwich was always kind of the one, but that's a little expensive. Where I don't remember what the Choco Tacos cost is. Created in the 1980s in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia? How is a taco created in Philadelphia?
I think they had their share of vendors over there to get the idea, Jeff. I think.
I guess.
You know the little ice chest guys that go around with the red chest and the blue chest that sell the tacos and they sell the tamales and the tortas and stuff like that. I mean, Logan Square is loaded with them.
Yeah, not so much in the burbs. Yeah, no. Now that we've made sure that Ivan's aware of what a Choco Taco is.
Okay, yes, now I know what a Choco Taco is.
I did see Incredibles 2 finally.
Yay.
All right. Yeah. I'm up to 2 times already.
It was good. I think it was overhyped for me at that point. I just thought the plot was... I thought there should be more to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good. It was just... The plot was so simple. And I get that, sometimes it's easiest to just do the simplest thing. I just would have liked a better bad guy. I'd have liked, a more over-the-top bad guy like in the first movie.
Okay, yeah, Syndrome was huge.
Right. Well,
okay.
The Underminer was cool, but now, I mean...
I think it was a little short. I think they could have done more with that.
Or brought him back at the end. I mean, you could have done that where you brought him back at the end. I mean,
that part never got resolved.
I'm sorry?
That part never got resolved. The whole thing about he escaped.
No, which leads me to believe there might be a 3.
Yeah, we'll have to wait another 14 years.
I'll be 61.
Oh shit! I'll be 71, dude. Oh my gosh.
Hey, guess what? Incredibles 3 just came out. Let's go.
Oh my gosh! Really? Here, let me get my walker.
Yeah.
I'll get my niece to drive me.
Okay.
I wonder sometimes, because with those movies, like, for example, they give you the 20-minute Pixar short, and
Right.
then they do a 90-minute movie for Incredibles 2. And I just wonder, couldn't you just take the 20 minutes for the short, and why not just give us a 2-hour Incredibles movie so that you could have built up a little bit more?
I mean, I can see what you mean there, Jeff. Like I said, I'm not saying that Incredible 2 wasn't good. It was good. In fact, last night I reviewed Incredible 1 again, and okay, here's something I realized. There's a lot of similarities in the crimes. I mean, in the first one there was a broken trestle and a train ready to go over it, and then they did it again, but for Elastigirl.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, Mike, I know you really enjoyed it. Hello? Mike?
Okay, Mike?
Okay, well, we'll get Mike eventually, right?
Sorry, I was muted. I had to change out my chair. I forgot to change out my chair.
Aha.
Okay.
Aha.
My squeaky office chair with the wheels on it. I move a fixed chair to eliminate unwanted background noise.
Got it.
I got you. Okay.
All right, sorry. What was the question?
Well, that's fine. You figured out the force power that we all have now, which is to ask somebody a question when they're not around or in the room.
Yeah, that's Jeff's superpower.
No, because you did it to me the last one. You did it to me the last time. No, I was just saying, like I said, I enjoyed it. I really did. But I know you enjoyed it a lot, Mike. Like I said, I just kind of, maybe it's because everybody overhyped it by the time I went to go see it. I just felt like for the hype, it could have been stronger.
So you came in with expectations, right?
I kind of did. I like I said, I just wanted. I don't know. Like I said, I just felt like there were.
I liked a lot of the. I liked much of the story, surrounding Elastigirl. Okay, I get that, and the fact that they went with a 3-piece suit type of criminal in this one, unlike the over the top, let's go to the island and have you fight with the big, crazy machine.
Mm-hmm.
There could have been some bigger moments, I think. But, all in all, trying to, pick up something after 14 years, that's a great feat,
Like I said, it's a solid watch. It's enjoyable. I just, maybe it's just because, I see Incredibles 1 on, I'll be flipping around and it'll be on Freeform or it'll be on Disney. I'm like, ooh, Incredibles.
Right.
And it always just holds up. And this, I just felt like
there could have been more.
I felt like they tried too hard in places. A lot of time on Jack. Just a lot of time. I felt like the one character who didn't get used nearly enough was Dash. And when they did use him, though, he was really effective. That one line.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yep.
The one line he gives about "it defines who I am" is just classic. That's funny stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I guess I don't want to poo-poo it. I just was I was hyped. I was hyped to see 90 minutes of something that I was like, okay, let's especially considering the fact we can't get a decent Fantastic Four movie, and this is the closest you're going to get to one unless something changes drastically.
Well, it exceeded my expectations when I saw it in the theater, so I wasn't unhappy with the results.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't unhappy with it either. I had some of the same type of thoughts that Jeff had, but for all of it, yeah. I saw it twice, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Will I have it in my library? Probably.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to get to the theater this weekend to see Ant-Man and Wasp yet. I know you did, Mike.
Yep.
What do you think?
My thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, there's not much to spoil, so I'm just keep whatever spoilers are off of there. Let me just say, I think Ragnarok was a funnier movie, and I think it was just as good as the first Ant-Man, at least for me personally. It was kind of like the first half of the movie with Scott, where this takes place after Civil War. We know what happened to Scott after he got in trouble in Germany after Civil War. He's been on house arrest. But meanwhile, Hope and Dr. Pym are trying to find a way to get his wife back from the quantum realm.
Right.
And there was some great, very brief, tender moments. They didn't go for the emotional punch, and of course this stakes are lower because it was a different kind of villain. But it still was good. I liked it. It was funny in parts. It was great. I think they were trying to go for the LOLs a little bit too hard at some point, but I really liked this movie. Yeah, I liked it. I was good. I was satisfied. It added to the Marvel Cinematic Universe a little bit, not much, and now, of course, the end credit scene. There are 2 end credit scenes. The first one is what happened. Who gets dusted from the effects of Thanos. And then the second one, the last post-credit scene, was bullshit. Had no bearing whatsoever. It was just there. So, so well.
Okay.
No, it was good. I liked it. I'm going to give a solid 4 out of 5 Yeah-Mans. The first half of the movie kind of reminded me of The Big Lebowski, where Scott is just along for the ride and all this shit is happening around him. Where Hank and Hope, and they're trying to build this machine so they can get into the quantum realm. They know it's possible, and then they find out that Scott has some connection from being in the quantum realm, where Kate, that's the original Wasp, I guess, was trying to contact them through him. So he's kind of like in the middle of it. But they do, and Lawrence Fishburne now, another actor who's made the crossover in both DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
And the villain Ghost was interesting.
There's an example of, here's a character where, because it's not a bigger character, the rogues gallery just isn't there. So you start to have to try to create pieces that, don't necessarily exist. And the irony is, the one thing that is the most obvious has already been dealt with, and it's too much of a high power level for Ant-Man or Wasp, which is Ultron. Because in the comics, Hank Pym creates Ultron. So, that would have been an interesting place to take things, but that's not what we're gonna get. So, yeah, it becomes an issue. I'll be honest, Ant-Man, I don't know what it is. If I see that or Guardians on, I will watch it. Ant-Man's kind of a guilty pleasure. I like the 3 guys who play his sidekicks. Those guys are great.
Yeah, there are a couple of really great scenes with them. And of course the one, you're going to get your little story about him talking fast and hey, but this what happened with that guy when then this guy was like, oh man.
I like I said, sometimes when people ask me what's your favorite Marvel movie, I wanna say Ant-Man, the Ant-Man movie, because it really is enjoyable. It's a fun movie, and like I said, I enjoy it. That one, and I do. Like I said, obviously Guardians. There's been some ones that have really been enjoyable of late. I like both. I really like, of the 3 Captain America movies, Civil War and Winter Soldier are great movies.
Yes.
The first Guardians is a lot of fun. Ant-Man kind of has that kind of funness to it. I mean, they kind of hit a groove amongst those movies, and they're all around a similar time frame, so it's kind of interesting that way.
I need to get a best of list from the both of you so I can have some winter watching this year, so that way I can kind of keep up with you guys on a lot of these wonderful, storylines and such.
So now this being the 20th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, now I'm half tempted to try and slowly, maybe 2 or 3 a week, slowly watch each one leading up to Avengers 4 now.
Well, so here's what's crazy. Like, every time I turn around, there's another like cable channel that's running one of these movies. Like Civil War is on TNT right now. It's been on for like 3 of the last 4 nights.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, Winter Soldier was in rotation on one of the cable channels.
Well, right, because of the 4th of July. There was FX had like had the first 2 Captain America movies that were in full rotation.
Here's another thing I got to do is get me some cable.
Get me some cable.
Gotta get me some cable.
I gotta get me some cable. I assume you don't mean the one that Deadpool found.
No, just so that way I can also catch up on some of these shows too.
Did you hear about what Josh Brolin said about his performance in Cable? Cable?
No, I did not.
He said, watching it back, he wasn't satisfied with his own performance as Cable in Deadpool 2.
I could buy that. You know, I felt like that could have been stronger. It felt weird. Where was I reading? Oh, supposedly they wanted to offer that role to Russell Crowe.
Oh?
Would he have taken it, though?
I got the impression the answer was no.
Yeah. No.
Which is kind of a mistake. I kind of think Russell Crowe would have
fighting around the world.
Yeah. I think that's kind of an error in judgment for him. But,
go see Ant-Man. If you like the first Ant-Man, you'll like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Jeff.
Okay. No, good.
I'm not going to overhype it this time.
I got it at my theater, too. I should go see it, too.
I'm hoping to see it by next week so we can talk a little bit more. I will tell you, I was over at a friend's house and binged the entire 2nd season of Glow.
What? Who?
Glow?
Glow?
Yeah, Glow. You know, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. They actually made it into Netflix has done an actual fictionalized series on Glow.
Oh, okay. No, This is all news to me. Lay it on me.
Actually, this is the 2nd season. They started last year where they did, it's more of a fictionalized account. They're basically taking bits and pieces from the original and they're doing a more fictionalized version. Probably the biggest name in the series that people would recognize is Mark Maron, who's a comedian, does the podcast. I thought the first season was good. They definitely are in slow build mode in the first season because you're sitting there and you're like, okay, when are they going to actually start doing things?
And they were doing character build?
Yeah, well, or how they're going to get to where they're going. You know, how are they going to get to where they're going? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It took them a while. Like I said, in the first season, it took them a while to get
to develop everything.
And in the second season was interesting. They've gotten good reviews, but to me, I found like the first few episodes really to just be more about developing out the different female characters and characters as a whole. And the back half of the shows start to give you more about the business, what went on with some of the recordings, all that kind of stuff. And they kind of go more into it towards the end of the season. And I kind of wish that was a little bit more interspersed in season 2 at times. But I'm sure there'll be a season 3. They set up kind of a cliffhanger and they're they'll move forward with it. I don't know, Mike. Are you going to see this, or do you want me to kind of talk a little bit more about this?
No, but is there like wrestling involved, or is it just all drama?
No, they do have scenes with wrestling.
Okay.
They do have some scenes. The wrestling is more along the lines of almost more of a backdrop thing. I mean, there are certain times where, episodes will will have more from the wrestling, and they do a good job of the staging on it. In the fact that it looks very much like what you would have seen in the 80s when you watched Glow as a kid. I don't know if either one of you watched the actual show.
I don't remember.
No, I don't recall it myself, no.
For those who are local in Chicago, I think it was on Channel 50. It was on the weekends. The production values were horrible. And they did this opening that was kind of like a rap, like a Super Bowl shuffle kind of rap thing.
Oh, man.
And they had, everybody was some sort of crazy character, like a Vince McMahon type character from the 80s. Like, you had the one girl who was like the jungle woman, the one woman who was the Russian, the one who was the giant, like, Polynesian woman, you know, the giant evil, big woman, and then, you know, you had all, anything you can think of. They had, like, the farmer's daughter, this one's from Hollywood, you know, yeah.
I get the gist, yeah.
Yeah, and then the announcer, what killed it was, the guy who was the announcer was a guy by the name of David McLean, and he was the one who kind of produced this thing. And the guy they have on Netflix who plays that character, when he goes to do the announcing, is just hysterical. I mean, some of the things he says are just really, really funny stuff. And if you're not listening for it, you'll miss it. But,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's good enough for, the nice part is the episodes are short. They're about 30, 35 minutes, so 10 episodes, you know, really in reality, we were done in about 4 or 5 hours.
So are those available on YouTube at all, do you know?
I don't think so. I think it's just Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, this just came out on Netflix, so.
Oh, so this is brand spanking new, okay.
Yeah, literally it came out at the end of June.
Okay.
Okay.
It was, you want to watch this or you want to watch Luke Cage? And, you know, it's this.
Yeah, now I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about this Glow.
Yeah, it like I said, it was fun. The only thing that bothered me was the last episode a little bit, in that there was something that got done that they brought. Well, I'll just say it. They brought one of the characters in on a zip line, and in the 80s that would have happened. But I think it's a little. It's not in good taste because for anybody who's a wrestling fan, in the 90s there was a situation where Owen Hart died because he was not fully connected to a zip line just like that. And
that's right. I remember that.
He dropped to his death. And to me,
Yeah.
I'm always uncomfortable when they show stuff like that because there's a reason why we don't see that anymore in pro wrestling. It's because
Right.
of what happened there. The other thing that kind of doesn't make sense to me is they find a way to get a whole bunch of different networks or stations from around the country who are interested in buying the show because it looks like it's going to go off the air.
Uh-huh.
And in the end, the station who owns them is like, well, we own the characters, so we decided we're not doing anything with it, so we're just going to close the show, which doesn't make any sense because if you've got that many people who are interested in buying the product, that's the last thing some independent 80s station would have done at the time. They would have figured out a way to either sell the rights or figure out a way to make syndication money. They would never have done that. And both of you guys know that from working in the business. They would have never done that.
No, you're right. No, you're right about that.
They would have never done that. And unless they were that cash strapped. But even if they were, they'd have figured out a way to leverage the deal so that they were making money on it. Even if they didn't do it and they didn't produce it, they'd have sold it to somebody.
Somebody just give them a brick of money and here you go.
Yeah, exactly. That was the other part that kind of, like I said, that was the last episode. Those were two things that happened in the last episode, and
Okay.
I was a little sitting there going, I don't know. Mike, you watching anything right now, or are you just kind of hanging out?
Well, I went over to a friend's house, and it was a goodbye party for his foreign exchange student. He and his wife, they are taking in a foreign exchange student. They're bringing their second one in about a couple months. But about a week or so, their first one is going back to Germany. So we had a party for them. I went over there and we helped clean up the mess from the party and all that because I had to work all day. But leading up to the point is like, okay, well, what do you want to do? You know, just hanging out here for a little bit. I can hang out. So we watched the first episode of Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
I'm in. It's very interesting. The first episode really does kind of grab you.
Okay.
But it's like, where have Johnny and Danny been in 30 years? And the events of that match, the effect it has on their lives and all that. But it was very good. I can't wait to see more. I'll be going over in a couple weeks. Hopefully we'll binge a couple more episodes. But the first episode is like, we got to get a taste of what it's about. And yeah, I'm in. It looks good to me so far. It was entertaining. It had some funny parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I liked it. So yeah, I'm in. And that's on YouTube Red.
Right.
If anyone was interested.
Just so for the people who aren't aware of what Mike's talking about, and I know because I'm sure Ivan's kind of sitting there going, "What's Cobra Kai?"
No, I have an idea, but I just don't know about the story.
Cobra Kai, Ivan, is a continuation of the original Karate Kid story.
Right.
And it's basically 30 years later, and they got basically the two guys, the guy who played the bully, the lead bully, and then they got
Daniel-san, Ralph Macchio, and the two original actors too.
And, oh my goodness! Wow.
And so they're doing this as a Netflix series. It's Netflix's first, not Netflix.
It's YouTube.
They're doing it's YouTube's first foray into paid scripted shows, and the first 2 episodes are free, and you can get them on YouTube for free. And that the only reason I haven't watched them is because of exactly that reason, which is I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm going to watch the first 2 episodes, and I'm going to go, oh God, now I got to buy it somehow, or I got to figure out a way to get the other rest of the season, because it's like, okay, how am I going to watch this?
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
That or just sign up, pay for a month, and then cancel your subscription.
Yeah, that seems to be. I mean, that's the new trend, isn't it? It's the well, I'm going to ghost for a month. I'm going to sign up, buy something for a month, watch what I got to watch, get it all out of my system, and then basically be like, yeah, thanks, see ya.
Yeah, I almost done that with Star Trek Discovery, but I got means. I have friends who have means, so.
Yeah. It's funny, I have a friend of mine who was talking about, and really in reality, this is probably what I should start, we should all start doing, is, because I've joked with this with friends, I don't know how you guys feel. If I'm one of the few who's got cable, and maybe it's because the apartment complex I have, it's included. So I get cable, and then it's, okay, I'm going to buy Netflix, I got to get Hulu, I got to get Amazon Prime. Now you got YouTube, you got CBS doing what they're going to do, and sometime soon this DC universe is going to launch, and then sooner or later Disney's going to launch their thing. There's so much out there where it's after a while, it's like this starts to add up. It's like you almost have to make deals with people. It's like, all right, you buy this one and this one. I'll buy this one and this one.
Right.
And we switch.
We'll all split the bill here.
Yeah.
And divvy up all the streaming services that we all got our good shows on.
Right, exactly. Or it's like, here's the password, here's this one.
Yeah.
This one. But it's funny because I'm hearing a lot of people are doing that now, because it's like, although I don't know. I mean, I know millennials are like, why do I need cable? But for me, it's like, okay, if I want to watch sports, okay, forget it. You need cable. If I want to watch the Cubs, like, I have friends of mine who don't have cable, who it's like the Cubs were in the playoffs, and they're like, how do I watch? See ya.
Yeah, isn't GN losing them next year?
Are they? No. Are they really?
I don't know that for sure.
I'm not sure about that one. I have to...
Or is this exclusively going to be on the MLB network?
What, the
Cubs games.
The
Cubs games are moving off of GM next year. WGN next year, I think.
They are?
I think. We'll have to research this for a future...
Yeah, I need to look into that a little bit.
It's crazy, though. Okay, this is a story from 2015.
No, that's old news.
I know, but it says the Cubs have confirmed Thursday that they have reached a new 5-year agreement to broadcast 45 games. So if it's 5 seasons from there, we're talking 2020, aren't we?
2020, that sounds right.
2 years.
Yeah, so 2 years.
Okay.
I'll see.
Well, we still have it for 2 years on Channel 9.
Here's an interesting one. This will actually take it a little bit further. This is from the Tribune. This is in early 2018. Set to expire after the 2019 season.
Oh,
Right.
They lost a year then.
Well, no, it's starting in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So we'll still get this season and next.
Okay.
Luke, it's only one more season.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's but I mean they're all over the place now, so it's kind of crazy.
Well, it's still on, but aren't the Cubs games still live on 7:20 a.m.?
No, they're on 670 now.
Oh, okay.
They've been on 670 for a couple of years now.
All right. So yeah, the young'uns, they don't care about local news. They got their YouTubes and they got their Instagrams and all that. And
No, they don't. I don't think they're an information society. I mean, in many respects, it's just kind of like, yeah.
it's not through the channels we used to get them from.
No, I mean, because when we were coming up, it was like 2, 5, 7, 9, 11 if you're lucky, 13, and then all the UHF channels if you had a good ring to bring them in.
Yeah.
26, 44, 50, 66.
I guess I had cable as a kid, so for me.
No, I came up on that whole tip, with television channels and things like that. I mean, I was a little bit more radio conscious then too, not like today.
I think we got like cable when I was like 11 or 12. So
Not TV.
you turn on like channel 28, like 10:30 at night. You'll get some scrambled, not rated programming. You can almost make out the nipple.
Yeah, I can almost see the boob. I can almost see the boob. Yeah. Young boys will never understand what we had to go through to see stuff that now it's like I just go on the internet. You're like, you just don't understand.
We used to have to fight for those thrills back then through the distorted picture screens, and you try to make out what's happening in the soundtrack.
It might have been like 80, maybe when I was like 14 or 15, my neighbor threw out a whole bunch of Playboys. And we found out that it was sitting on the curb late one night. He was leaving it for the garbage man. So we raided that garbage bag for sure.
I had a...
Yeah, man.
There might still be one or two of those magazines in the garage somewhere. Who knows?
I had a cousin who, when I had my bar mitzvah, he gave me a check, and then he said, "Later, I'll give you your real present." And he was kind of waiting for when nobody was looking around, and then he basically brings me, like, I want to say, like, a stack of a year worth of Playboys. And I'm like, and he's like, "Well, you are a man now, you bar mitzvah." I'm like, my parents are not so happy, but actually, what am I talking about? My dad didn't care. My mom was like, "Ah!" But
my brother was the porn king in our house.
Was that his name?
The porn king?
Ivan, porn king, time for dinner.
It was because my brother, he had not only the Playboys and the Hustlers, he also had the Swedish erotica 8mm movies.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
So,
we never had any like home movies around here.
See,
No moving
my
pictures.
brother had all this shit. Oh my god!
Just
And
channel 28 at 10:30 at night. It's all scrambled.
so wait, you
well,
had the
between
8mm.
that and the movies, yeah, things kind of went along, nicely.
You had the 8mm stuff. So wait, to
Stag
watch it,
films.
he had to set up the screen and all that stuff just to watch that stuff.
Set up the projector.
Well, no, just like, we just did like a wall, like if there
I
was
mean, you gotta like loop it in, and it's like, talk about like it's like, okay, I'm done now. Now I'm not interested anymore.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of work to get to it, but once you get to it, yeah, it works out nicely. And so, to a guy who's just like, Mom and Dad are not going to let me know how it all hangs out, I had to find out some way. So, yeah, thank you, Louie.
You had the certain video stores, like you had the nice video stores, then you had the video store where you knew they had like the room in the back.
Behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah, the little spotted places, yeah.
Yep.
Right. Where you're sitting there and you're like, is anybody watching? Do you think I can sneak back there? Let's go. And it's like when nobody's looking, you're sneaking back there going, wow, look at this and look at that. Wow, okay, that's interesting.
No. Never rented a videotape like that, because still, then once you sneak past the curtain and get in there, then you still got to go to the register and talk to another person who's going to see the title.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
oh my gosh.
So once I turned 17, which in Illinois is legal to rent those things, that was interesting because, like, when my parents would go out, I would be like, I needed to get like a place to go rent, and it was trust me, it was amusing because it's every Asian family you can think of that owns one of those places.
Yeah.
Or some old lady who's looking at you with this look of freaking
you disgusting little bastard. Yeah.
And of course, the only thing they're thinking about is they looked at your account from last time and said, you got to rewind this one this time?
To our younger audience, rewinding was referring to VHS cassettes where not everything was on DVD anymore.
Yeah.
You have to rewind these cassettes, these clunky looking cassettes. Be Kind Rewind. You ever see Be Kind Rewind?
I did.
With was it Jack Black?
Yeah.
I rewind. No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, where something happens where it's like some electromagnetic pulse or something, like wipes out all their videotapes, their video stores. So they make home movie versions of all the movies.
Yeah, and all the locals are
the locals are loving it,
Yeah, because it's crazy. And then eventually he's putting all the locals in the movie, so it was even funny.
Yeah. So yeah, VHS tapes. Great day, great times, good times with VHS tapes.
Good times on the old VHS.
Old videotape machine.
I still have my unit here attached to my TV set.
I got 2 whole boxes of VHS tapes in this house somewhere.
Yeah,
I know. When I used to come over to your house, Mike, when we used to
have movie night,
and we used to watch the Slayers.
Yeah, we used to watch our movie night, which is typically anime. This would have been in the 90s, so I was a bit of an otaku back then. Now it's all, I don't know. I don't watch anime anymore very much, although I still gotta get caught up on that Voltron series on Netflix. Man, that's just still good.
So, along the lines of your anime thing, it just it made me think about this. So, back when I was a kid and in the 90s, and for people who weren't aware, even today, one of the hottest animated films of all time is Heavy Metal, and it's only been about maybe 20 years since they finally allowed that to be sold or rented or anything along those lines. So for people who aren't aware, if you wanted to watch Heavy Metal, the only way you could get Heavy Metal was if you had Cinemax and you were smart enough to tape it. And I can tell you right now, if you went to gaming or comic book conventions, up until right until they started finally selling DVDs of it, people would sell those damn things for $30 a pop.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like nicely packaged or anything. We're talking about like a cheap VHS tape that like had like the computer printer paper on it. It was like, this is like Heavy Metal, okay? And you assumed you were getting the movie, but
I mean, it was a lot of those things going around in the DVD world too. I went to.
There's a direction here though. I'm going to this because Mike mentioned anime. So
okay, go ahead.
So I'm in college with a bunch of friends of mine, and we don't know this, and this is the mid-90s. This is the middle 90s. And we're like, all right, we want to watch heavy metal. So we go to, I think it was the Video King. I think Video King was what we had nearby. So we went to Video King, and we go rent it, and we find out, unfortunately, you can't find it. And it's me and two other guys and a bunch of girls. You know, we're like wanting something that's kind of like, we're like sitting there talking, and the guy says to us, "Oh, well, we don't have it, but we have this other animated film that it's really popular, and I think you're really gonna like it." And he's like, here's the clincher. It's just like heavy metal. The name of the film, Akira.
Yeah, Akira's pretty film noir, and some would argue that Akira is like the Gone with the Wind of anime.
Yeah, but Mike, nothing like heavy metal.
No, you're right.
Nothing like heavy metal at all. So
heavy metal is about 80s rock and bubage.
Yeah, and lots of naked...
And lots of naked images on the screen.
Did you ever see the South Park episode where they make fun of heavy metal?
No, but the point I'm getting at is...
Okay.
Imagine six of us sitting around...
watching Akira.
We're watching this and we're just like...
Where's the pubes?
We're like, this is nothing like heavy metal. This is nothing like heavy metal at all.
No. Just the fact that it's edgy.
We were rather... Trust me, the women were not so happy about it either. We're like,
yeah, I fell out of anime many years ago. And there was a time in the 90s where I was learning the language and I was learning how to read the written language because of the Transformer collecting I was doing in the 90s. I wanted to read the boxes. I wanted to read the packages and watching anime too. So I was kind of into that in the 90s. But I kind of fell out of that. So now I don't watch any of the anime now. I don't watch all that stuff. And my nephew's all into it. He's way deep into it. I'm like, he's just weeb trash is what he is now.
He's like 4. Did you just say he's 4?
No, I said he's not 4. He's like 24 or 25.
No, I would said he was 4.
No, he's not 4.
No. I'd say he's 4.
No, you misheard me.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't watch anime anymore. But it was when a time when we was all on VHS tapes. And with VHS tapes, you had to choose whether your anime was either subtitled or dubbed. It's not like a DVD now where you could just toggle the audio option.
No.
So there was this decision to make back in the day. And sometimes the dub would be really crappy. And sometimes the Japanese voices would be so terrible.
Most of the dubs were really crappy, Mike. I don't think trying to track an anime is the easiest of the world,
Oh yeah, those actors, some of them got a real chore ahead of them. So, but it was harder to do back in the day. Of course, now they can alter sound, alter voices to match the what they call the flaps. What they do when characters talk in anime, they just call them flaps. The mouth just moves up and down, and they don't. No definitive mouth shapes.
Okay. All right. No,
so VHS tapes, good times with video in the 80s.
Well, like I said, it was funny because we showed up. I showed up the next day with the VHS tape.
Right.
I was there, and I'm like, dude, this was nothing like heavy metal. I'm pretty sure you cost me any chance I had of getting laid. I'm about positive that cost me any chance I had of getting laid with that girl.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a drag.
Like I said, it was like, and ever since then, it's like anytime anybody's like Japanese anime, no, that's okay. No, I don't think so. But
I still want to finish Voltron on Netflix.
I gotta get into that.
Hey, what happens if why won't they just kidnap the one guy, like one of the guys for the Voltron thing? Like, all you need to do is just get one of the lions, on the side, and you basically take that one out. Then they can't make it. Otherwise, what does he turn into? He turned into a guy who hops?
No, he's got a sword, man.
Yeah,
Voltron has powers in and of himself.
Right, but But if you get one of the guys in the line,
Right.
so you can't build all 5. You basically end up with a hopping guy on one.
No. Well, yeah, right. A guy on one leg, right. Missing a leg. You get amputee Voltron.
Yeah.
Or there was another Voltron where there was 15 different vehicles all combined to form Voltron.
Really?
And you're screwed if you lose one of those guys out of 15 guys. So.
That would be my whole plan. It's okay. We just
Yeah. Just take out one of those little cars, and that's it. Vehicle Voltron is done.
Oh my goodness.
So, and speaking of Voltron, Lego just dropped their design for their upcoming Lego Ideas Voltron, and that thing looks freaking awesome. It's $180 though. Oh, that looks cool. So cool.
It's just cool
I
as
don't
fuck.
build much Lego, but man, that thing looks good.
Cool.
Like when I was little, like if I wasn't into Transformers as a kid, I would have been all into Lego. I had some Lego growing up, and I built my own like giant robot, obviously too. So this thing is, this is pretty awesome.
Oh man, Legos are cool, man. I mean, I remember an event over at Logan Arcade where ZSB put like I think it was 150.
Yeah,
it goes on the floor.
Yeah, you told us about this. Yeah, where people had to make their own stuff and they went home with it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is. That's groovy, man.
Oh, and I also one last thing in my nerd news, and my nerdy stuff was just I read Batman number 50. I read The Wedding.
Did you?
It was only $4.99 off the rack.
Yeah.
So I was like, that piqued my interest enough, and now Jeff spoiled it for us off the air last week. But I wanted to read it anyway, so it was only $5. So I read it. It was good, and initially because I was mad about the results of what the New York Times article spoiled you about.
Right.
But now we know why it happened that way, and it worked. And there's just one page, just one scene, where Bruce is asking Alfred to be his best man, and I got the feels. Just one page, man. And then there's these long monologues of Batman talking about Selina and her talking about Bruce, and that splashed against this beautiful art from all these different artists. It was worth the $5, in my opinion, just to read it and just to see the good stories and how they were going to do it. It's like we're going to do it at dawn. We're going to do it on the rooftop because that's where we are. That's how we, maybe that's how we met or whatever. But no, it was a good story.
No, that's great.
It's a good book.
Man. It's good to experience things like that in the flesh,
I think it was better than the Action Comics 1000. That was the 80th anniversary of Superman.
I am hearing good things about the Man of Steel miniseries that they've got to relaunch on Superman. What did I see the other day that I thought looked interesting? Oh, I guess Marvel is doing a Deadpool versus Black Panther miniseries.
Okay.
That they've got coming out, but I'm trying to find the information now.
Okay, we're going to get a why to this, right, Jeff?
I'm sorry?
We're going to get a why as to why they're going to do this?
Well, they're going to do it because the two characters are really popular.
Super duper duper popular.
And you figure why not, and it's not the normal pairings that you would see, so, you've got...
It's unique in of itself, then.
Well, it's funny because somebody brought up that it's been done a while back, but it's obscure enough that people will here we go. Marvel's doing a Deadpool versus Black Panther. The description reveals the conflict comes from Deadpool's quest for vibranium, something that is highly guarded and sacred to Black Panther and the entire kingdom of Wakanda. Obviously, they're not going to give it up without a fight, but that seems just fine by Deadpool. Not saying why Deadpool needs the vibranium, and that obviously he's going to have to fight him. Deadpool soon learns that his unconventional methods don't exactly work against the king of the most technologically advanced country in the planet. Yeah, that I think that's really where this comes, where the interest in this might lie, is you've got somebody who's ridiculous, who's got a million resources, technologically advanced, versus the guy who, quite frankly, can't die. Yeah, that's the basics of it. Oh, I'm sorry. And we missed the bigger story that I don't know if you caught this yet, and now it's official. We should all holster up our Colt 45s. Billy D. Williams is indeed going to be in episode 9.
Hashtag please don't kill him.
Yeah. That's an interesting point all by itself.
Yeah.
That, and I guess they're looking at Kerry Russell from Felicity and Waitress for some role in episode 9 I've seen.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Like I said, it's, but yeah, I'm glad to see that they finally decided to bring back Billy D. Williams. I don't know what they plan on doing with him, but it makes sense.
I'm sure it'll be clever.
Good.
I have more faith with J.J. Abrams than I do with Rian Johnson, so I'm feeling like I feel a little better about this than I would have under Rian Johnson, who wanted Billy D. Williams to take the place of the guy who played Codebreaker, which I'm glad didn't happen because that would have been a total betrayal of what Lando Calrissian's all about. But like I said, I'm just kind of. It's funny now that Ant-Man Wasp has happened.
Oh yeah, and I just saw on Instagram that they finished principal filming of Captain Marvel.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I know they're starting filming on
Avengers 4. Yeah.
Well, no, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, Far From Home. Yeah, that's what the title leaked. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's leaked when the star actually brings it up.
Well, the star shows a copy of the script on Instagram.
Yeah. Let's see. The Rock has a movie next. Has a new movie coming out.
I've been meaning to see Rampage now that it's out.
Yeah, he's got another one. I guess this skyscraper thing. So
I saw there's a little bit of Jumanji that was on cable last night.
I'm still not seeing that yet.
I hear it's good.
I don't know. It's starting to scream the Towering Inferno to me here.
Well, yeah, that's the plan. It is nice to see Neve Campbell back, though.
So that's cool. The Rock's still busy. That's good.
Yeah. No, hey, like I said, that's always good. I just think it's interesting. The rest of the summer starts to get Although I shouldn't say that. My mom is making herald plans and important plans and talking to friends because Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is coming out. So we have to make sure that happens.
Okay. Have fun at that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Are you going to see Teen Titans Go?
I probably won't. I think I'll probably wait till it comes out on
I might if it comes out just for the sake of just for what it is, I'll go see it. You know, I'm intrigued.
You know, I take it back. Now that I got the thing for $5, I might go see it on a Tuesday for $5.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Because, all right, yeah, they went off the original model and all that, and made them smaller and that whole thing. But yeah, but they said that the writing's supposed to be really strong on that movie.
I don't know. Like I said, we're at that point in the summer where okay, there's
there's a bunch of tentpoles have been out now. You know what? It was far from a very full theater when I saw Ant-Man Friday night.
Now
at 7:00 on a Friday, Ant-Man the theater was not full because of Jurassic World and what was the other one that's out now? Incredibles 2. Those I think made like $20+ million this weekend in spite of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I think there were
good.
I think there were more kids seeing Ant-Man than I counted like kids seeing Incredibles 2.
Well, it's been out a couple weeks, so you
True.
Right.
But I think just everyone's getting the summer movie burnout. A lot of people done spending money on movies.
What do you think, Ivan?
Well, I think that there's just so much coming out all at close to the same time and everything. This just seems to be a bit of an overload.
I agree.
You know, so what happens is that you got these multitudes of all these movies coming out, and then you just like you get lost in the decision making process, and then it's like trying to it's like trying to play catch up. It's crazy.
Oh, I saw a trailer for that. I guess Hotel Transylvania 3 is coming later this year.
Yes, that's right.
I never saw any of those.
No, I've watched bits and pieces, but never a whole movie. So
yeah,
maybe I might put a pass on that.
Now I'm just thankful I'm done with movies until the fall, at least till November. Because it was a relentless year for movies. Nerd movies.
Yep.
So much so, or at least that the pop culture stuff.
Well, that and some outside of the box, like The Shape of Water. That was great.
I still haven't seen that yet.
It's what? Okay, just you've never seen it, or you don't know anything about it.
I'm aware of bits and pieces. I'm just not sure that I'm all that interested.
Well, it is intriguing. I mean, whoever the director, just went into that whole mode again of. Period piece and everything with its edges and stuff, and the presentation of the characters in like a 3D process, a Technicolor film process, was very bright and very vibrant. It kind of popped out at you on the visual, as well as the story within of it. It's really very interesting. I thought it was well done.
Okay, I haven't, like I said, It's funny, I just don't feel the need to pay that kind of money to see those movies that are like that now. What was I watching? Oh, I was watching CNN did this, talking about the 2000s, and they were talking about TV and how film used to be where you developed these incredible stories, and TV was like tentpole watching. And in reality, somewhere in the 90s to 2000s, that kind of flipped. And now TV has turned into this place where you can tell these incredible stories. And now movies has turned into, okay, it's all about tentpole movies now. Where, who are our beachheads? What do we have? What's out there? And so it's kind of crazy because it's almost flipped.
And the early 2000s when we started American Idol.
Yeah.
That changed the landscape of television. That changed the game, man.
Well, it's funny, they talk about American Idol, but really in reality, you're really starting with a couple things. You're starting with, and I can't remember the exact start date, but a lot of this all stems from when MTV decided to pick up The Real World. And then once that happened, Survivor was really the key, which is, okay, we're gonna bring back the reality. We're gonna make what essentially turned into the reality game show. And once that happened, it just opened the floodgates.
Yeah, and CBS also had Big Brother.
Right, that came a lot later though.
Oh, okay.
Survivor was really the first of any of these. Once Survivor happened, that's when you started getting a lot of these other ones. American Idol was next. You had Dancing with the Stars, The Apprentice. Those were really kind of the big ones. And then it started to kind of spiral to all the other channels with all the crazy stuff that started to come out. You get your Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. You get your Top Chefs. You get your Iron Chef. Storage Wars. All kinds of that kind of stuff.
Operation Repo.
I'm sorry?
Operation Repo?
Yeah, that too. But a lot of that all stems from the get-go. Like I said, you start with Real World, where they created this docudrama piece, like a reality show. And then from there, CBS had the bright idea. Well, Mark Burnett, for the most part, had the bright idea to modify it. And that's where we got what we've got now. And, it's funny because how most of the programming that's out there is that, but the reason it's out there is because if you tried to program every hour with some sort of a comedy or some sort of a scripted drama, I don't think that these networks could afford it.
So that's an interesting thought.
I mean, that's just it's where we are now. It really is. It's turned into for every great drama or comedy we get, you've got a million of these shows because they don't cost a lot.
I see.
But I don't know. Hey, Mike, what have you been playing? I know you've been doing your Sunday night game night. What have you been playing?
Well, last Sunday we played the DC deck building game, and 2 weeks ago I dragged out Trailer Park Wars. That's a fun game.
Did we play that, Mike?
Yeah, the weekend I bought it at that collectible shop in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. That was such a cool game.
Yeah, and then I took it to one of our fall specials for our DairyCon group. That's our Wisconsin Transformers group. Took it there and played it there, and they loved it. So yeah, it was fun. It's usually the three of us, but one of our guys couldn't make it, so it was just 1-on-1. So we just cracked out the old DC deck building game. There's also a Marvel deck building game. I prefer the deck building games because you know what? This Magic stuff gets a little bit too crazy with all you have to do is with collectible card games. Now, isn't Gen Con coming up next month?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. With these collectible card games, you can spend like $80 to $100 on 2 or 3 really rare, powerful cards, and it means you win. So with deck building games, it's all comes from the box. So you have to. There's a chance you can acquire the cards you need to help win, or if it's a collaborative effort to try and beat the villain or whatever what you're doing. So yeah, I don't. I had a couple of collectible card games that my nephew and I used to play back in the 2000s. We don't play them anymore, and I got a stack of cards here that I've put couple $100 into, and it's frustrating that we don't play them anymore.
Couple hundred, keep going.
Yeah, for years.
I practically gave away Magic cards a few years ago.
Wow.
Because really in reality, they were at a. I want to get rid of this stuff, and I'd say to certain people who wants this stuff, and I'm positive some of it had value, but I didn't have time to go shop it out and figure it out and all those aspects.
Right. It would take me a whole day just to go through all these boxes of cards that I have.
Yeah.
Some of them, most of them common and not very valuable anyway, but there's some promos in there and rare ones.
Well,
yeah, but it makes for a nice rounded stack when you got all that stuff in there.
I guess, but again, I'm with Mike. I haven't played a collectible card game in probably, it's got to be 20 years. It's got to be 20 years. I played it with friends in college because it was the thing to do. And it was fun then because it was more, it wasn't as competitive. But once you get to, like, the cons, everything about competition and fast effect decks and all that kind of stuff. And, I enjoyed the Emperor games. I enjoyed the games where it was a group of us and anybody could hit anybody at any given time instead of these one-on-one duels. But everybody loves the one-on-one duels, and, I'm not a big fan of it. But.
And unless it's a blind tournament, you're going to get beat hard from somebody who is invested in their deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like I said, so the DC deck game, is that a collaborative game, or is that just a deck building you get against them, or is it you against whoever?
It's collaborative, where your heroes play against defeat a series of supervillains before time runs out.
Okay. Yeah, those are fun. Those are like the collaborative board games are interesting. Like there's Pandemic, that's one that's out there.
And I'm meaning to see that. I'm meaning to check that out.
And then there's
listening to you guys talk about this, it makes it so exciting.
What's the one? There's another one where you're firefighters and you got to get everybody out of the building before.
I don't know that one.
Or the name. Yeah, see, I gotta be honest, I don't play a lot of board games, and one of the reasons I stopped playing them is a lot of the people I'm friends with, and if they're listening, I don't care, I'm just gonna say it, I got tired of everybody being way too over competitive. in these games, especially some of the stuff we'd play where it's just like, you play something where it's supposed to be fun, and by the time you're done, you're just like...
Yeah, that's why if it's a competitive game, I use a game like Trailer Park Wars. It's competitive, but it's still funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tongue-in-cheek, it's all in good fun. But most of the games we've played over the last few months, they're mostly, by and large, collaborative.
Yeah. Like, I like Settlers, but I started playing... I got to the point where some of the people I would play Settlers with, after a while, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. These games are supposed to be games where you're supposed to be done in, like, in theory, you could be done in, like, an hour or so, and the people I'm playing with are dragging this out to where it turns into a 2-hour-plus game, and you're like, this was not my plan, nor was I interested.
Seeing as you brought up the subject of gaming, I was listening to another podcast last week, and they were talking about, they had a listener question that asked them, what were your favorite board games growing up? And one guy brought up Atmosphere. Now, Atmosphere was a VHS game where you had a board, but you had a VHS tape playing. And every few minutes, the guy would come on the screen and say, "Stop! Whose turn is it next?" And he'd say, you would miss a turn. So that would happen. So it would affect the gameplay while you're rolling the dice and hurrying up trying to get your turn done before the guy comes back on the screen to turn you into a frog or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was fun. I remember Atmosphere. That was a fun game.
That I can't say I played. That one I didn't know. What's the one?
But Atmosphere is like spelled atmosphere, but F-A-A-R at the end.
Atmosphere. Okay.
Yeah. My problem is after a while, there was a period of time where I played all of I was way into the wargaming thing, where it was you'd play a Castle Risk game, and everybody turned it into some sort of hoard all of your stuff, get ready for the big huge battle, and turn it into a statistical numbers game, and those would get insane. Or the epic Axis and Allies games. There were ones that would it's 7 a.m. It's okay, yeah. just get it done. No, there's guys on the islands. We have to get those guys.
I had a friend, a very good friend of mine. He rage quitted one night. We were playing Axis and Allies, man. It was pretty bad, man.
No.
God, God rest his soul. He's a great guy, but man, we got him so mad. We defeated him in Axis and Allies.
It was funny because the last time I played with a bunch of friends, when we had one of our big epic games, I was playing the Axis with somebody, and we figured out around 3 o'clock in the morning we weren't going to win. And the thing is, we knew we weren't going to win, and all they had to do was do certain things to get that done. Unfortunately, the 3 people we were playing with decided that they were going to take 3 to 4 hours to figure out how to do it.
Oh, man.
And we're sitting there and we're just like, what are they doing?
Right. They're just prolonging the inevitable. Right.
I want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep.
Speaking of rage quitting, remember the one time we played Scrabble and Randy rage quit on me?
Remember, yeah, we were going to BotCon 97, and we were bored, so we went to the Target or whatever. We spent $10 on a Scrabble game, and that was he couldn't spell. My friend Randy, he could not spell words.
Yeah, that's important.
And I was like, no, that's not how you spell it, and he got mad. Of course, we're in a hotel room. We can't get at the stores, and this is before we all had smartphones, so we can't look up the words. So yeah, that's the one and only time I ever saw him play Scrabble. Never again.
Yeah.
Wow.
That reminds me.
I didn't mean to crush the man's confidence or nothing.
That's okay. I still remember a time Ivan got real mad at somebody. We were doing overnight, and a few friends come over, and we were playing. Was it Castle Risk or were you playing Axis and Allies? And
you were playing Axis and Allies.
Oh no! Well, we did a few of those things. But one of my friends brought over his friend Dave. And Dave set up when he took his turn as I think it was actually St. Alex. He took his turn as Germany, and he left the capital rather wide open. And somehow, some way, as the English player, on the first turn of the game, I took over the capital of Germany. And, all right, that happens, and the game's kind of over. We have to go set up the game again. And that's not a problem, except I did this 2 more times in a row. Because he kept doing the exact same thing. And after the 3rd time, Ivan goes, "Look, I'm tired of setting up this damn game. You just stop doing this stupid stuff and just, because he's going to do that every time you."
Oh my goodness!
I remember this.
You don't remember this, Ivan? Do you remember this?
I remember this.
Yeah, Ivan blew up on him. It was pretty funny. We were all kind of laughing because he's like, he was right.
Ivan's got a very long fuse too.
Oh no! Well, you understand? He set up the entire board.
And it was just the repetition was killing me. It was
Beyond that, we set up the board and we messed up the board enough that you'd have to reset the board every time.
And there are dozens of pieces in this
right,
game.
which takes forever.
Yeah.
So we do this 3 times in a row, and I think the problem was, I can't remember what Ivan was playing, but we never got to his turn. I think that was the other problem, was we never got to Ivan's turn. We had a turn, on the first turn of the game, we'd never get to Ivan's turn. And after the 3rd time it happened, Ivan was like, let's have it. It was just great.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, yep. It's just as you said.
But I think that's why I play more of the role-playing game stuff now. But I haven't tried 5th edition for Dungeons and Dragons. I would like to try it, but everybody I know seems to still get off my lawn when it comes to the role-playing game stuff. And I know there's the new Star Wars, which is out there. What is it? Is it the Edge of the Empire? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't do RPG stuff.
It's from Fantasy Flight Games, but it looks interesting. My headache is that rather than doing the normal dice, they get all these different types of dice that you have to look up what the result is, and if you don't understand what the results are or how that works, forget it. And after a while, I was just like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, but I'm always looking for something different. I am doing Star Wars RPG, the old school D6 version. I'm still playing quite a bit. I'd kill to find a role-playing RPG for some sort of superheroes thing. That I would kill for.
Do you always DM? Do you prefer to DM?
I've gotten away from it, but lately I have been DMing/GMing more.
Okay.
It's
a great outlet for writing stories and being the narrative.
It is. It's always fun too because sometimes, depending on what you're doing, it really depends on the player. Which is, so let me make sure I understand this. You're going to do this, this, and this. Yes. Are you sure you're going to do that? Oh, yeah. Are you positive? Yep. Okay.
They've got some static over here. I think Ivan's decided to start vacuuming.
Yeah.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I think that's the air conditioner.
Okay.
Like, for example, Mike, there was one time, actually, I didn't do this one. Somebody else did. We're playing D&D, and we come upon this dragon, and one of the party members, and he tells the party members, he's like, all right, what can I give you? How can I repay you? And the one guy walks up to the dragon and goes, I always thought it'd be really cool to have a flaming battle axe, so if you could put flame on my battle axe, that would be great.
Be careful what you wish for.
And we all kind of have that look, and the guy who's playing the GM is like, just to be clear, you want me to put flame on your battle axe? Yeah, I think it would be great. And I could use it, and it would flame around, and it would... and he's like, that's what you want. Mm-hmm. And we're all kind of like looking at Jim going with that look of, we're moving back. Like, we're motioning this. We're like, we're moving back, we're moving away. It looked like a Looney Tunes. You know, when it happened, you know, guys charred. There was no battle axe anymore. My favorite is he was renting it from the Clerics Guild. So he scooped it up and put it into an envelope and came back to them and said, yeah, here's your axe.
Yeah, fun.
They didn't. It was funny because we thought he was going to be in trouble, but there's nothing in the contract that says about what condition the axe has to be in, just that you have to bring it back.
Yeah, gaming can be such a great, not just team building, not just having fun with friends, but it's a great way, a great bonding experience between people. Ivan just fell down the stairs.
Yeah, Ivan fell down the stairs.
No, Marley's just making a mess of the VHS.
Oh, okay.
Marley fell down the stairs.
Marley
fell down, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a floor full of VHS.
I was going to make such a serious point about fellow humans pretending to be knights of the Round Table. Not squares of the Round Table, though, but close enough.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like my friend and his brother, you know. They that's how they communicated. They told stories, these great stories of each other. You know, they talked about D&D and all the other stuff that they get involved in, like Forgotten Realms and all that. Mm-hmm. Like they read like the D&D like paperback novels telling stories and gave them great ideas. But I was never much for the pencil and paper D&D back in the day. I wanted a board because I was dumb. But
I did that with character builds. I used to go to a few of those myself with Phil Stone. I don't know if you remember.
Nope, never met Phil.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. My friend Phil. He was my guy over at Columbia, and
this is before I met you, Ivan.
Yeah, this was before you met me, so it was that type of a thing where, he would take me to games because he had the bag of dice. He had, all of these files, all of these character builds and everything like that. He was involved in all these games. And, I went to a couple of them, and, it's just the sense of community is just a wonderful thing to watch. It really is.
Yeah, it was money. I was seeing as we're still on the subject of gaming, I was cleaning my room, and I had to take the bed apart and vacuum where my bed was because it's just so filthy. I hadn't cleaned my room in a couple of years, and I had some old books that I had moved from the upstairs, moved upstairs. I had the old FASA Star Trek combat game from the 90s. Man, that was my jam back in the day, man. Starship Combat.
That's some difficult stuff. Yeah, I still
have all the hex boards and the pieces and the character, like the ship building manuals and all that. Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Back in the 80s, it was the late 80s, mid to late 80s. It was when Next Gen was on, so it was a big of a Star Trek revival back in the day.
It was funny. That was a game system that never translated well for RPG. Was Star Trek.
Star Trek. FASA had a Star Trek role-playing game. We might have ran like one campaign that I did once, but it was terrible. But we used to just play the Starship Combat game.
Right. Well, no, from an RPG perspective.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's cool, and then you realize, what if I don't know anything about engineering?
Yeah.
What if I don't know anything about engineering?
All right.
You're like, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what questions to ask. You're not really role-playing. You're just rolling dice to figure out to find the answer because God knows you don't know what it is.
Well, you just assume that the people you're playing with know a thing or two about Star Trek before you invite them over to play Star Trek, the role-playing game.
Well, but we're not talking about Star Trek. Hold on a second. We're not talking about knowing anything about Star Trek. We're talking about, okay, I'm working in engineering. I need to understand how the warp core works. I don't even understand how the toilet works. How am I going to make sure the warp works?
No, there are no toilets in Star Trek. That's
I'm talking about reality.
You never see a toilet on Star Trek.
Yeah. No. They should.
They use the intergalactic laxative.
Where do they go?
Intergalactic laxative.
Where do they go? Is it like in Demolition Man where they have the 3 shells or whatever?
Scotty just beams it off the ship.
Oh.
There was that one monologue from Breaking Bad where the guy was high and he was talking about his Star Trek script that he wrote. It was funny.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That was another thing, I was talking about Entertainment Weekly last week about the 10th anniversary of Breaking Bad. That's one show I'd really like to just watch from start to finish.
Anyway.
So anyway, gaming, yeah.
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
I saw the last 2 episodes. That was it.
No, I didn't see it either, but it looked good from what I did get to see.
Yeah, I hear it's solid. I hear it still holds up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one I hear. What else is the other thing? The Wire. I always hear The Wire. The Wire is one that I always keep hearing about. That you should.
I just got done going through 4 seasons of Arrested Development.
Yeah, so you're talking about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was strong up to the 3rd season, but then the 4th season, when they started individualizing the different characters, and then they kind of lost me, towards the end, and the finale was not what I thought it was going to be. It actually disappointed me.
No, that's too bad.
But but the first 3 seasons were beautiful. I mean, they were tight, scripted well. Everybody just, they just had this chemistry together, and it was just so funny. It's funny on so many levels, and then Liza Minnelli makes an appearance in it, which that's the last time you've seen Liza Minnelli, and just all the characters that they had in it, it clicked. Everything came together. It was so good. I just didn't think that the 4th season needed to be done. They should have just left it as it was.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why when people sit there and say there's not any good television out there, I disagree, because I think of all the shows that I've heard that are great that I haven't gotten to simply because I didn't catch them originally.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't right now feel like investing the time, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Game of Thrones. I hear it's phenomenal, but I really don't feel like investing.
Yeah. I share that with you. Everybody hypes it, and everything like that, and to the point of you're like, why?
Well,
it's just like, yeah, that's all good and fine, you dig it and everything like that, but it's something. It's like any good, thing you get involved with. It's something you got to feel,
Well, it's not so much that. It's just sometimes it's different now. Like when we were growing up,
mm-hmm.
If you didn't watch something when it was airing, or you didn't tape it, you didn't see it. Okay?
Yeah.
And you didn't have the ability to like tape multiple things at once. Like, my DVR, I could be taping like 4 different shows at the same time if I want to be. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I, like, for example, it was funny. I have a buddy of mine, John Suntress. We were talking about this, how he's like only caught up on West Wing in the last few years, whereas I watched West Wing all the time, and I was like, how did you miss this at the time? And his comment to me was, that was opposite Voyager.
Right,
So,
you had to choose between one or the other.
So if you were a Star Trek fan and you were watching Voyager, guess what? That's what you watched. I can't remember what was opposite Lost that I was like, no, I'm watching this instead, or something along those lines. It's a little different now in that, you can, in theory, catch up. But again, perfect example, we all talked about just now how, depending on what you've got, Mike's got Netflix, I've got cable. I've been, from what I can gather, it's either find it on YouTube where you can find it bootleg, or watch regular television.
No, Ivan just has the coat hanger over his old cathode ray tube.
With the aluminum foil on the end.
Yes, aluminum foil, yeah.
he's getting into the old Married with Children Fox viewing position to be able to do something. Got it.
Well, actually, I got a beam antenna in here, and I get 50 channels. I mean, I bet most of them repeat themselves, but at least I get local, and I get the news and what other things that they do on the channels like Cozy and Me TV and This TV.
Yeah.
Which I tend to get your funny guide and stuff.
The point I'm getting is, like, for example, it's like I hear, like, I had HBO at one point, and yeah, I picked up the entire season of Westworld, and it is interesting, but I haven't gotten around to season 2 because, honestly, I don't have HBO at the moment, and I'm not paying for it. So, okay, I didn't see that. Just like that's how I didn't end up with Game of Thrones. I didn't watch because I didn't have it. I didn't have access to it. But that's where we're at right now. That's almost kind of the same as what it was back in the day, where if you didn't have access to something, you probably weren't watching it.
No.
Right, exactly, and not only that, the return of that program could take weeks to take months until you have another opportunity to see it again. If they even do it at all.
Versus today, where depending on what the program is, okay, I can find it on demand, and my biggest complaint is I can't fast forward through the commercials. I'm stuck here for 45 minutes.
Right.
It's such problems to be able to get something on demand. But what did I watch recently? What am I? It's funny because we get summer and then it starts to be either catch up with stuff or pick up new things. What have I picked up? I've been watching something called Dietland on AMC, and it's more.
What is it?
It's more pushed towards women, but it's a lot about weight and sizeism and those aspects. It's more from a woman's slant, but there's a lot there, and there's an aspect where there's kind of a mystery portion to it. I do find it interesting. I think that there's something to be said. I'm curious to see if it sticks around. What else did I watch? Oh, I saw Take Two, which is on ABC over the summer, which is Rachel Bilson and Eddie. I can't remember his last name. He's in a bunch of stuff. Hold on, I'll get the last name, but
what is Take Two? What is it? Is it a drama or?
It's kind of like basically Castle in reverse.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Castle thing in reverse. It's Eddie Cibrian. That's who it is. It's Rachel Bilson and Eddie Cibrian. I like them. They're both good. I saw about 3 episodes. It's not bad. I don't know that it's earth-shattering, but it was entertaining for what it was. Here's something I have to admit. I've been watching on Freeform. I've been watching The Bold Type. It's kind of more of a chick show, but yeah, I've been watching this thing called The Bold Type. It's kind of like a 20-something Sex and the City, except a little bit more over the top. I think it's pretty good. Kind of a solid show. And then
Sex and the City does not hold up.
No, it doesn't. There's
a couple of those girls, man. They get like a guy of the week. Just
yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, some shows just don't. Some shows don't hold up, and you're like, ugh.
I mean, is that? Would you think that true of the series made in the 70s and the 80s against the ones that were made in the 60s and into the 70s?
Well, I think that part of that is nostalgia and camp. I think it makes them interesting. At least some of my sensibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to get into this, but I can't imagine where you air Dukes of Hazzard now. I don't see that happening.
Oh no, Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, amidst the current situation happening, no.
Okay.
The Duke boys, they weren't. I grew up. I had a model kit of the General Lee.
That's not happening now.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, no, because of this symbol or whatever, the flag. So it's unfortunate, but it was a good series. I remember having it. It was like when Smokey and the Bandit came out. That was
I thought they were great.
It was just
the Duke bands.
Good old boys, and they weren't like doing bad things, if you know what I mean.
They weren't doing the yeehaw redneck thing or nothing like that.
It doesn't hold up at all. It's Smokey and the Bandit. Because
Smokey and the Bandit. I was just thinking about Smokey and the Bandit 2 the other day, where Jackie Gleason's like, he played his two other brothers or whatever, and one was a Canadian Mountie. And
chew your ass.
Even like, for example, Mike, okay, in the first one, they're going across the country to go get Coors beer. At the time, it made sense because you couldn't buy Coors beer on the east, east of the Mississippi. Today, I go to the store, Coors is there. You ain't got no problem getting a Coors beer. Yeah. So it's kind of weird. In that regard, it doesn't work.
And way back when it was illegal to transport Dom DeLuise. Oh man, the Cannonball Run. That was my jam as a kid, man. I loved watching that movie as a little kid. I didn't care about what, all the adult humor went over my head. I just loved it because it had race cars and it was funny.
Well, Cannonball Run's a great movie.
What was Dom DeLuise's superhero alter ego?
Captain Chaos.
Captain Chaos.
That's right.
Yes. It had Dean and Sammy, and Jamie Farr. See, I don't know if they'll never be able to make a movie like that again.
Jackie Chan's in that movie too, isn't he? Right?
And it's
David Chan was in that movie too, no?
Yeah, I think a young Jackie Chan. I think he was, and he was the.
Hold on, I gotta pull this
racer.
up.
So yeah, I think they'll ever be able to make a movie like that again. So on PC.
I mean, movies like that, aren't,
they'd be offensive to someone today. So,
and it's just okay. People are rebooting so many things now, and again, it's like, where are all the new ideas?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is quite the list.
Yeah.
I know there were a lot of people in there. It was just like, what's the other movie?
It's a mad world.
Mad World.
Yeah.
Jackie grandma was in that movie.
So yes, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was definitely in the movie. Okay, give you some hints to who else was in this. She was at one point the hottest poster woman in the world.
Farrah Fawcett.
Yep, Farrah Fawcett. He was one of Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Roger Moore?
Yes, Roger Moore is in that movie. We already talked about Terry Bradshaw. This guy was the host of Password at one point, and he hosted Win, Lose, or Draw.
Bert Convy?
Yes.
Yep. See, I know my game shows, man. I spent summer vacations watching game shows with my grandma as a kid.
There you go.
This guy wore women's clothing in Vietnam.
Oh, Jamie Farr.
Yeah,
Jamie Farr.
Yeah. He was the Sheik. I remember he was the Sheik. I remember that.
Yeah.
Here's one that people won't know or understand why this was interesting at the time. Boy, this guy really screwed up his career. Former major prognosticator Jimmy the Greek Snyder, who said something about I believe African American or Latino players, and that was the end of him. Joe Klecko from Major League Football, trying to see if there's anybody else that immediately sticks out.
Well, Dean and Sammy, I know they were in it.
Well, right, I already had Dean and Sammy.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's the second one, which kind of curious. I think that the second one wasn't. What's his name was in it? Frank Sinatra.
Maybe he might have had a bit role. I don't think Sinatra had much to do in there.
No, I think there were cameos.
Yeah, I think Peter Fonda was in one of them.
Yes, Peter Fonda was in that one.
Was in one of them. Yeah, that's right.
Peter Fonda was in that one. And the second one, you get Marilu Henner, Telly Savalas.
Oh man, Taxi.
Marilu
Henner and Taxi was a big deal to me growing up.
Oh yeah, the Taxi was a great show, man.
I just had a crush on Mary Lou.
It was a shit.
Catherine Bach, who was Daisy Duke, she was in the sequel.
Catherine Bach, yeah.
Tim Conway, Tony Danza.
Yeah. Tony Danza?
Yeah, Tony Danza was in it. Yeah, he was. Don Knotts.
Okay.
Jim Neighbors.
Yeah, Jim Neighbors.
Yes,
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, Joe Theismann, Fred Dyer from Hunter. Let's see who else. Marty Allen. Marty Allen, who my uncle knew, who was a comedian.
Oh.
Cheech Marin. Cheech Marin was in it. Yeah, there is a bunch of guys. Now I'll tell you what movie I thought had a shot. But I don't know if either of you saw it. Did you ever see that Rat Race movie?
Yeah.
Rat Race.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding was in it. Seth Green was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
That's the closest I've seen to a Cannonball Run movie. And for the life of me, I don't know why there wasn't like a sequel or why no one has done one of these types of movies. Especially in this day and age where you've got all these guys who want to find excuses to work together. They could do some crazy movie like this.
Yeah, instead they just redo Ocean's 11.
Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, that's okay too.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's see.
Not my bag,
Rat Race was 2001. So yeah, actually within the last 20 years. Okay. Yeah, Breckenmeyer, Cuban Gooding Jr., Seth Green, Gloria Allred was in it somehow. I don't know why.
It was the guy who was Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Mr. Bean's in here with Whoopi Goldberg, John Lovitz, Kathy Najimy, John Cleese.
I'm John Lovitz. Acting.
It's horrible.
It stinks. Yeah, I missed The Critic. That was a fun show.
Paul Rodriguez, Amy Smart, Dean Cain. Yeah, see, this is...
Dean Cain. Oh, man. Superman.
Yeah, Dean Cain was in here. Wayne Knight. Like I said...
Makes me want to go see it. Makes me want to see that movie again.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates was... That's right, Kathy Bates, because you forgot you didn't buy a squirrel. Right. That's the scene where she doesn't buy the squirrel. There's the scene, too, where Breckenmeyer ends up having to pay for like 17 showings of Afro Horse.
So I'll tell you what, guys, when we wrap it up here, I think is
we can do that. I do have one last place to go.
All right.
Because we all need to be aware of this. It's
a little bookend here, a little funny news story as a bookend.
Well, you all need to be aware that when you have a home, be aware that there's always a possibility that somebody's going to stop by and invade your home with an axe.
Is it a flaming axe?
No, it's not. But police say it took an axe to stop 17-year-old during a home invasion. They arrested the individual that attacked the woman at her front door. The gentleman woke up at 8:45 Wednesday morning to the sounds of disturbances at home. My girlfriend was screaming. I came down the stairs. The airline pilot found his 33-year-old girlfriend and the 17-year-old near the front door. He had a nice khakis, a button-down shirt. If someone like that is knocking on your door, you don't think anything bad. But police say that he was punching and choking her, even slamming her head into a wall as she opened the door. Apparently, this individual asked the girlfriend if she knew where the park was. That's when McMaster says he punched and slammed the teen to the ground. I held him there for a minute until he calmed down. Then I grabbed an axe that I had held above him, and I told him to follow my commands or I would do something else to him. I asked what he was doing. He said he was there to try to get money off of her. He would have hurt her. Basically, the moral of the story is some bitch had an axe and you should too.
Oh, man.
Must have had an axe to grind.
Yeah, he definitely did.
She must have been a bit of a battle axe.
It's his Second Amendment right.
There's a chop.
That fell a little bit flatter than I wanted to. I guess.
You put that on the chopping block.
No.
Oh, yeah. We'll just cut it out.
Oh, yeah, cut it out. Very good. Well done. Speaking of well done, that's another Squares to the Roundtable podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And you can catch us where, Mike?
We are on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. We're also on Facebook. Please join our group if you like. Send us a question, email, comment, or whatever you like to do. Let us know, please. Email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com. And we are also on YouTube. That's where we're currently going. But now, this being our 10th episode, yay!
Right.
Number 10. It goes to 10. It goes. Next week is going to go to 11. That's
Yes.
one higher, isn't it?
Yes,
So now we are
yeah.
10 episodes in. So now, once I come back from vacation next week, I'm going to put my nose to the grindstone and get us on some podcast sharing websites, not just on the YouTubes. So we truly, truly appreciate you listening. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, episode number 10 in the books. We'll
In
see
the
where
can.
else we go. We'll turn it up to 11 next time. We'll see what we can talk about. We do have San Diego's coming up eventually here, but I think we got a couple weeks for that. But I'm sure we'll find a few things to talk about in between. My name is Jeff Stein, and with me today, the master of sound.
That would be you, Mike.
that
Oh,
was-
okay.
Ivan.
The master of just interrupting the sound thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
would-
that would be.
Ivan's the sound guy.
Yeah, I would think so. He's the guy with all the records.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're right. Yes, driving Ivan Rivera, and of course the man who puts it all together at the end of the run, Mister.
Chief Engineer Scott. No, not Scott. Just me, Mike Boyle. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
robotic
Thank you
there.
so much.
All right,
Time
thanks
to-
again. Have a good week, and we will see you next week for Squares of the Roundtable podcast. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody.